Well, hi everyone. It's Instagram live from the mill. Sorry I sound hoarse. I brought Carol's cold home from Maryland.
That's the way I sounded a week ago.
Yes, well, I sound worse than I feel, so this will pass, I'm sure. Thank you all for joining. And in just a minute, we're going to talk about all the things we've been doing and then all the things we're going to be doing. There's quite a lot of fun ahead. So this is Battenkill Fibers Instagram live from the mill. And I'm as live as I can be with a bit of a seasonal allergy, I think, thrown in with the cold itself.
Yeah.
And then it was pouring rain in Maryland.
Oh, the mud.
The mud.
There's Lily. We'll ask Lily to join.
Okay. Let me know when she's joined.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Once I get these guys squared away, then I can turn it so you can see too.
Okay.
So.
Am I on? Whoops.
Hello, I can see your floor.
You can
Yes,
there.
here you are. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
All right. I was all set up to do this on my laptop and then found out you can't do it from your laptop. You can only do it from your phone. So.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Instagram doesn't let you do it from your laptop.
All right.
So are we complaining about how cold we were in Maryland?
And the mud.
Yeah. Carol mentioned mud. I really remember the cold more than I remember the mud.
Well, I remember the mud because the people looked at the walkway to our booth and they just looked at the mud and said, no, thanks, shook their head and went on.
I see. Now, if you're going to sit in front of your pretty colors, I'm going to sit in front of my pretty colors here.
Oh, look at that. Gorgeous.
That's just,
After we get Hannah on, then we'll flip it and look at, because I can't see you at the minute.
But
okay.
You can hear.
I can hear her.
Yeah.
So, here, and Luca has come to help.
Hannah, where are you?
I bet she's lost sight of what time it is.
Oh. Well, my clock says 6:25, so I thought I was getting on early.
Okay. I left my phone in the mill, so I can't text her.
Well, it is just 6:31 right now.
Okay. All right.
So it's probably just fine.
Okay.
She'll join us, or you can run and get your phone.
Or Lily, you could text. Yeah.
She's on her phone, too.
Oh, you're on your phone.
Now wait a minute. I'm on my phone.
In New Hampshire,
Luca.
as much as happened in Maryland. You know, in Maryland, I was in our booth, and so people could kind of tell it was me, since there's a thing that says Battenkill Fibers.
Right.
But in New Hampshire, we don't have a booth. I was just walking around, and I'd say to somebody, "Oh, hello, it's nice to see you." And they said, "Oh, I watch you on Instagram." And I says, "Yeah, goofy, but a little geeky." And they're like, "Yes." I think trademark for that.
Really?
You know how on MJ Packer it says knitter, grandma.
Yeah.
It should say goofy but geeky.
You want a t-shirt made?
No, I want something more elegant.
I thought that.
Is anyone wondering what I'm wearing?
No, but you can tell them.
It's my hoagie like a cloud.
Knit with
Battenkill Fibers Adirondack DK, which is a lovely Romney Merino blend.
It's really pretty.
And I have enough brown. I'm out of enough gray because I was wearing it a lot, but I have enough of the brown still.
Yeah,
that,
that's a really nice yarn.
Nice brown, and it's a perfect pattern for a Romney Merino blend. We make this yarn for some of our customers too. So if you really want in a dyed color, check out what Gail Parnello has at Cornwall Yarn Shop. And if you want it in a couple of light oatmeal, light gray, check out what Ann Hansen has at Bare Naked Wolves. both of them have it, and one's dyed, one of them's all natural, but either one has it in more colors. At the moment, all we've got is brown.
Hannah says see you soon. So she's busy, but she'll be with us quickly.
Okay, good.
All right.
Okay.
So you want to tell about upcoming events?
Upcoming events.
Yeah.
We have so many upcoming events, you can't shake a stick at all. So we're busy talking about what
For sure.
Here comes Hannah.
Okay. So, hi, Hannah. I'm going to just talk about
Hold on.
upcoming events for a second. While you
There
get
she
that
is.
Hey, Hannah.
For some reason, it wasn't showing as live for me. I was literally sitting waiting for it.
Oh, dear.
So hi, Hannah. I was just getting ready to talk about upcoming events. And the first upcoming event of note is May 25th. It's the Hudson Valley Textile Project Summit. For people who are close enough to drive or fly to Albany, New York, you should just come and join us in person. My cold will be past contagious, so you won't catch it. And I haven't given it to anyone else. So May 25th, if you live too far away to fly or drive to Albany, New York, you can just Zoom in. You need to be a member of this very important nonprofit, the Hudson Valley Textile Project. But the dues are very reasonable, and you'd be really helping this supply chain promotion group. It's a nonprofit. So we'd sure love to see you. We have a great keynote speaker, Dr. Kelsey Doty, who's a Cornell graduate. She's now a professor at Kansas State, and her work is on something that I am fascinated with, which is how to commercialize natural dyes.
I'm excited.
Because, as you know, I obviously love the look of natural dyes, but I'm concerned about price, the replicability, and the sustainability environmentally of plowing up all our corn and soybeans and planting non-native dye plants. What will that do to the pollinators? A lot of questions. But we got Dr. Kelsey Doty working on that for us.
Great.
So, great keynoter, followed by or introduced by, I can't remember, our local assembly member who represents the mill in the New York State Assembly, Assemblymember Carrie Warner, who is the author of the New York Textile Act that's been out of its first committee and is going into Assembly Ways and Means tomorrow. With any luck, we'll move from Ways and Means to the floor of the Assembly. And this act is so important for all New Yorkers, not just us in the Hudson Valley, but everyone in New York involved in the textile industry. So please, that's a reason to Zoom in, just to meet and hear Assemblymember Warner speak about that. Next event is Friday, June 3rd. I'm going on a road trip. You haven't heard this one, Carol. I'm going to Randolph, Vermont. I know some of you friends are from Vermont and might want to get some wool from your car to my car. And at New Hampshire, I even met somebody who was convincing David to let me take the van instead. We have a Dodge Caravan at our house.
Yeah.
And even though it says Maple Land Farms on the side, he would no doubt be glad to let me take it. So June 3rd, I'm going to be in Randolph, Vermont. So if you are from northern Vermont or northern New Hampshire and want to meet me there in the of Vermont Technical College, just let me know and we'll do that. And then last but not least, Saturday and Sunday, June 11th and 12th is the Central New York Fiber Festival. And what a cute festival. If y'all who are listening are trying to decide to go or no go, go and see it. Some of our friends and customers are leaders in that festival, like Springside Farm. Polly Drexler from the Syracuse area is on the board. Our previous guest and friend, Flora and Fauna.
Yeah, Ashley.
Ashley is also very active.
Yeah.
And beautiful stuff there. A friend of mine who has an alpaca farm and is on a state committee about fiber. I'm really losing my names here. Is there, and also one of the leaders from the alpaca side of things. So definitely worth the trip. June 11th and 12th. They're on Instagram. Great name. Their Instagram name is CNY Fiber Festival.
There you go. You can remember that one.
CNY.
Central New York.
And they have a cute little mascot and flyer now. So that concludes our announcements. Oh, Carol's going to hold that up for convenience.
Oh,
Carol, when do I get
cute.
to see the screen so I can tell how to interview Hannah and how to interview
Next.
Lily?
Next.
You gonna
Okay.
do what?
Thank you.
Here, I'm still figuring out there. I've got my camera.
Yeah, that's backwards.
I've got my camera balanced.
Okay. Are we
There,
good?
There we are. Yes.
There we are.
Hi. There, our guest Hannah gave us the thumbs up. There's Carol. If you haven't met her, that's at Foster Sheep Farm. Carol, who's been through the mud, the cold, the rain, and then the hot.
The hot. It was so hot in New Hampshire that the people melted and went home.
Oh.
Not me.
No.
I went everywhere, and boy, did I get a nice skein. I mean, not nearly as lovely as things you make, but for a dyer I had never met.
Yeah.
It's called Sassy Black Yarns. And talk about a creative Instagram name. It's Sassy Black Yarns. But that way you can find her.
That's
and
right.
I got a really nice.
It's very pretty. Would
very
go with what
nice-
you're wearing.
Yes, you know I like
Yeah.
going for these colors.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I want to waste it on socks.
No, I wouldn't.
It's a sock yarn.
Do you have it with you? If people haven't seen it, they can see a picture on your Instagram, right?
Yes, on MJ Packer. Another creative Instagram name.
Hey, it has a number 10. It's MJ Packer 10, right?
No,
No.
just MJ
No?
Packer.
Okay, I'm thinking
Plain
something else.
MJ Packer. Okay, so let's see what Lily thinks about her trip to Maryland. Was the first Maryland sheep and wool, Lily?
It was fabulous. You will see I am still wrapped up because I was so cold there. You're seeing all your bare skin, Hannah, is like, oh my gosh, it must be warm. And it's been warm here, but oh my gosh, it's so cold in my studio today. I don't know. I think we accidentally turned the air conditioner on or something. But what I remember, you were talking about the mud. Our booth was dry, but that little entry ramp in and out of our booth was quite the muddy slideway. And I was just waiting for somebody to take a dive on that. That would have been no fun at all.
But nobody
yeah.
did.
Nobody did.
Somehow the
Nobody
whole weekend,
did.
Nobody did.
It was amazing. It was amazing how often we could find the least bad spot to get down that slope, right? That, yeah.
Mhm. Well, I just
So,
didn't leave the booth. That's how I
Yeah.
got away with it.
yeah. But we needed to like cut a back door out of it or something.
Well, you're
But but it was lovely. It was, even despite the cold and the rain and just the horrible mud. Oh my God. It was, I just kept thinking how lovely it was to be back together with the community and touching real things and looking at real colors. And even though I didn't get out of the booth that much, it just was wonderful. It was just wonderful to see real faces and not be on a Zoom call. That just felt, both incredibly wonderful and somewhat overstimulating.
Yes.
Do you have any of those scarves and shawls to show?
No,
No.
no. Well, the one I have on is about the only one of these I have left. These silk wool differential shrinkage
Yeah,
pieces.
those sold really well.
They
for you.
did. I was amazed because they were, a little bit expensive pieces. They're such a complicated process, and there's so many places where you can completely screw up the entire process on a given scarf. So there's like a high, what's the term? A high loss rate on those when you make them. But it has convinced me to gird my courage up and do another big batch of them for this fall. So, yeah, they're fun to do.
Those scarves, the $55 scarves and the slightly more expensive stoles.
Right?
You don't
What do
have
you ask?
Joe? They're
No.
so pretty.
They're at the Shirt Factory studio. I'm sorry. I am really the world's worst marketer of my own goods.
You can see them on her website.
Yes. Well, or you can see them on
Instagram.
Instagram. They're on
Yeah.
Instagram. Yes.
Oh, they
So
sold
I'll post
really
more
well
pictures
in
of
Maryland.
Yeah.
Point was
Yeah,
met.
we sold a lot of them, and we sold the bigger pieces, which surprised me. I was rather expecting I put a big push in to have some nice, lower price point scarves ready. And it's that wonderful Romney Merino, yes, those blankets, that MJ had spun for me for my studio yarn. So that was really lovely. I'm really enjoying the luxury of the studio yarns. To make my own line with, so I can get used to a yarn and do lots of different things with it. So that's a lot of fun. I was going to say, yes, that's one of mine. This is actually MJ's yarn too. The wool in this is a singles Cordell, that first lot of yarn I had you spin for me. What, like 3 or 4 years
ago? I sold one of these today, Lily, to a walk-in.
Oh, good.
One of the brown ones came home with me. I just I was modeling it at Maryland because it was so cold that it just somehow snuck into my suitcase and came home with me.
Yeah, that one had your name written on it from the beginning. We could tell.
Well, they're good colors for you, Hannah.
So good. Yeah, it definitely fits with my palette for sure.
Well, Lily, the other thing I noticed about your Maryland experience was all the people who wanted to talk weaving. It was
that was nice.
Cool. Because we get a lot of farmers who drop by our booth, some of whom are already our customers and some who are thinking about it. But the fact that they could in one place meet the millers and the weaver was really useful. And I heard a lot of really good conversations around that.
Good, because I felt it was really helpful to have a variety of blankets and sizes to show it could look like this, it could look like that, to show some of the possibilities as samples, really. It didn't hurt that it was, freezing cold there, and we sold a lot of blankets.
People needed to feel warm at night.
Yeah, people just wanted to wear them.
I mean, the gloves went super fast. Those gloves were like gone in 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, and we sold so many socks too. I mean, people were like whipping their shoes off and putting warm socks on. It was so funny. But I think it did help. And it was fun to sort of help them visualize what theirs might look and feel like, and what are the design possibilities, and how, it doesn't have to look too plain. It can be kind of fancy looking. It could be kind of elegant looking. It's not going to look, doesn't need to look like a campfire blanket. It can actually look like a pretty lovely couch throw,
I was amazed at how many people just assumed that all they could have was campfire.
Or horse blankets.
Yeah,
they didn't realize.
Something more like a saddle pad. Yeah.
And this one, which is technically campfire-ish.
But it's not.
It's not, because that's kettle dyed. It was plain white yarn that we kettle dyed, and it's semi-solid.
And the finishing. I love this finish.
It's a nice finish.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But what's fun is when you realize, or as I've learned in the last several years working for you, MJ, is how you can take a yarn and really think about what are the ways that you can really highlight the best qualities of that yarn, right? And in that very variegated blanket that you just pulled up, by putting that into a crepe weave and not trying to introduce a pattern into it, you get that lovely overall pebbled effect that's just really nice. Whereas she is her own emoji. That's what that is.
Well, and Hannah did very well in Maryland, too.
Oh, my God.
This is all we have. It's easy for me to pick up Hannah's supply of books because we sold out on everything else. This is it. This is the one remaining book of Hannah's. I mean, you can buy more at, like, Amazon, of course.
Or my website. I will have them relisted soon. But you can buy from Amazon. Like, every single book sale helps me. It doesn't matter if you buy it from me or not. But it was so good to do an event because it's a point of connection for me with people who've never heard of me before. They haven't talked to me. They don't understand what the book's about. And also with people who came, you know, to say hi. They knew me already. They had read the book. They were a fan of the book. I met a few people who really touched my heart with what they had to say about the words that I put on a page. And that is priceless to me. So absolutely the most wonderful possible signing experience. And then on top of that, I was kind of getting to work the mill stuff too. So meeting all these farmers and talking to designers and helping people find the yarn that they wanted for a project. I think the booth is just so fun because we cover so many bases.
Yeah.
Well, you were a great help in our booth, Hannah, because of your knitting knowledge and your real-time swatching. Let me grab that swatch.
I actually knit too.
So we had a nice Corriedale 3-ply fingering in a 50-gram skein, and everyone was questioning how that might knit up. Could they use it in a sweater? Would it loft up enough? Could they use it for a sock? Would it be tight enough? So Hannah, bless her heart, whipped out her needles and started real-time swatching. And as a result of that, we sold.
These are the same.
Yeah, they're the same. The one is oatmeal and one is gray. That's a 3-ply Corriedale blend. It's about 200 yards. Hannah, we're going to have, though, she's holding one up too.
Okay.
Hannah,
How much of that did you take home?
Enough for a sweater. I sort of fell in love with it.
She started swatching it for us so that she could sell more and ended up buying it.
We knew how much though.
Yeah, she swatched it. And then on day one, at the peak of the mud, we had one of the most famous visitors to the booth come in. Andrea Mowery came by to say hello. And as my luck would have it, day one, I was not wearing my Andrea Mowery item.
And she left it in the hotel.
I didn't even have it nearby, but I have it today.
It's so pretty. Yeah, and Andrea brought Caitlin with her from Farmer's Daughter Fibers and also the folks from Spin Cycle. So it was just like a fun little West Coast, Portland, Montana reunion, and good to see some familiar faces popping in and out.
It was nice of her to come by and say hello. You know, for being a knitting celebrity like that, she doesn't act at all celebrity-ish. She just saw me, remembered me from the couple of interactions we've had with. So we spin for quite a few customers who she knits with their yarn, like Wing and a Prayer Farm. And this week, did you see that Empress?
Brand new hat.
That new hat is La Mercerie's Corriedale 3-ply. Actually, it's similar to this. It's just a different weight. This is thinner, but it's a similar fiber blend.
Right.
I'll be posting about it on Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if people want to see it, you know, just keep an eye on our Instagram, and I'll have it on the Battenkill Fibers Instagram, because we definitely want to help Ampersand Fibers celebrate their future.
Yes, so nice, Jess.
Yes.
You know, on June 15th, we're going to meet her on Bainbridge Island. I have room for 2 more people. If anyone's on the fence and wants to join me in Seattle, I promise you we'll be sleepless.
Lily, should we go? No.
That would be such a hoot.
Yeah, Lily, there's room.
I'm just
I've got a grandchild. I have got to go witness a grandchild being born. I'm going to be in Southern California. Yeah, I'm going to be in Southern California for July, witnessing a new grandchild being born. But there's also, I will get in a little bit of a weaver visit out there. There's a fabulous rug weaver, Porfirio Gutierrez, a traditional Zapotec weaver who does a lot of natural dyeing. He does his own natural dyeing with madder and indigo. And it's just, he does stunning, stunning work. And so I am planning a studio visit out to him while I'm in Ventura.
You better take pictures, Lily. I want to see pictures of that.
I will try. I am not very good.
I'm gonna text you every
I don't think
hour.
I took.
Where's
I
the
don't think I
pictures?
took one picture at Maryland. I did not take a single picture at
It's
Maryland.
so rainy though. I wanted to do like this whole thing where I was gonna walk around and visit everybody that we work with
Yeah.
and say hi on video. And the first day I didn't get out at all because it was just miserably, miserably rainy. And then the second day it got better, but we just had, you know, everybody came that day. So it was so busy.
Yeah. Well, when I did walk around, I mostly stared at my feet to keep from sliding in the mud. So
Yes.
I walked around like this.
I definitely got away for some sheep time. I definitely bought a few things I probably shouldn't have bought. But it's Maryland. That's what you do.
That's right.
So we should talk about some things you guys could buy that you don't really need to buy too. I spent like 3 hours today updating the shop for Oysters and Pearls with our inventory from Maryland, including the BFL Merino that we hadn't yet launched, all these beautiful colors. So we have a kind of madder-based pink called Geranium. So beautiful. Carol, I love that you're Vanna Whiting so close to the screen for us. This yellow is called Forsythia. We named it for these huge Forsythia bushes that are in Greenwich. And when I was driving to the mill every day in Carol's car, I like finally was like, I have to stop. I have to get a photo. So you can see that photo on the Oysters and Pearls feed. And then this color is called Rye Grass for those kind of like dried out grasses, prairie grasses, really pretty sagey green color. This color it looks so good on so many people's complexion. So we really love this like neutral green. And then we've got Lucaria, which we named for this kind of purple red, mushroomy color. Each skein of this is a little bit different. The one I'm holding right now has these really rich purpley tones mixed in. Some of them are a little more muted, but if you order more than one, we'll do our best to kind of match them so they kind of go together in your order. And we only have really a limited, I mean, less than half. What you see behind Mary Jeanne is basically it, you know? Oh, and we've got three of the indigo or just 2 of the indigo left?
3 indigos left.
Yeah, so these are extra special. I think they were dyed before I came on. We would love to send them to live with you as an attune shawl. They're so beautiful.
Indigo.
I can't believe they didn't get snatched up at Maryland because we had so many people look at them and covet them and then pick, you know, a different color.
Then they picked green. That was the most common pick.
Yeah, and the blue is so pretty and so wearable. And this is the Salt Box Shawl that Carol was holding up. That's a Bristol Ivy pattern that we knit up in this yarn. It's designed in this yarn, right?
Yes, it was designed for this yarn.
Yeah, I mean, but it would work with any lovely DK weight pattern, and there's so many to choose from in that weight class. So the other yarn, did you have more to say about the Oysters and Pearls?
I'm
can
done
I tell them about the other one?
Oysters and Pearls. You go and talk about the other yarn.
So let's talk about the yarn that I fell in love with at Maryland. First up, we have this gorgeous oatmeal color. This is a Corriedale Merino fingering weight. It's 50-50. It's 3-ply. That means it's going to be really round. It's going to show off cables. It's going to show off really nice textured stitches. Of course, I am knitting a sweater that's almost entirely stockinette because that's how I roll. It makes a really beautiful flat fabric. And I would show you the nearly 8 inches of my autumnal cardigan.
Wow.
Except I ripped it all up last night.
No!
The counts were wrong, and I pulled a Carol, and now I have to start over. So
you'll be happy in the end.
I will be because I just no, the counts were wrong, and I did the decreases. I did a couple of the decreases wrong, so I'm just gonna fix it and have it be perfect, and will make me happy.
Yeah.
The other color that we have in this one is the gray, and I spent so much time trying to decide while sitting in the booth because it was right in front of me in the booth, and I was like, should I do gray? Should I do oatmeal? I just don't know. So
I think the oatmeal has more depth.
Yeah, I chose the oatmeal because I wear a lot of warm tones. I like a lot of warm tones in my wardrobe and in my life. And so the oatmeal I just felt like was a little more with my wardrobe choices. But people loved this gray. I had so many people ask me if this was blue because it has this very lovely, cool tone to it. It's very steely.
Yeah,
In
when
the
you
shop,
put it with blue.
yeah, on the shop at Mill Street Textiles, it's named Slate because it has like that gray blue tone. So I think you guys would really love this yarn. I really love this yarn. So these are also like a really steal of a price because they're sort of mill ends. They have little tiny flaws here and there that you can just knit through or cut out. It's not really a lot of them. And that means that we offer them at like a really low price. So they're only $10 for 50 grams of half merino wool, half Corriedale wool, sourced in the US, spun in the US. I mean, I don't know too many other places that you can get a local wool, breed specific, heritage breed yarn for $10 a skein. So I think these are going to fly off of the Mill Street Textiles website. I'm letting you guys know before I send an email to everybody else. So you have first chance. I haven't sent an email to Oysters and Pearls yet. I haven't sent an email to the Mill Street Textiles list yet. So if any of these interest you, you know, doodle over there. Look at the pictures. I spent all day today taking pictures. Please look at them.
So before you signed on, Hannah, I was sharing with people our upcoming adventures. And I will just recap that in case people want to connect. June 13th to 18th will be Knitters Retreat in Seattle. That includes visiting Tolt Yarn Shop, as well as visiting with Jess at La Mercerie, doing some of the touristy things. A half day at Hazel Knits. She's a beautiful indie dyer in Seattle. And we're having a punch needle class with Andrea, who from Myra, and Jeanne, who uses our yarns in her punch needle kits. So big week in Seattle. Right before that, it's Central New York, June 11th and 12th. If there's a lot of people listening who want me to pick up or drop off, I could do that on June 10th, the Friday, and then or connect Saturday morning, June 11th. We have a truckload of Corriedale out there. We got to get our hands on at some point. June 3rd is a pickup in Randolph, Vermont. That's midway, mid-state in Vermont. And anytime the late morning, early afternoon of June 3rd. And then May 25th, which is a week from tomorrow, is the Hudson Valley Textile Project, 5th Annual Summit and Makers Market in Albany. And then we have another Instagram, we have an event. It's a community event, right, Hannah?
Yes, I think that's the 24th, right?
Yes.
I should know this, but I'm going to send out an email about it. So I'll figure it out soon.
How to work with yarn stores, how farms who want to have their yarn featured in a local yarn shop can collaborate.
That's wonderful.
Because that's one of the questions that farms ask us, how to do that.
Great.
Yeah, and also there'll be some information also included about if you're an indie brand, like a hand dyer, and you have your yarn milled with us, how to talk to those yarn stores, how to open up that conversation about wholesaling or commission selling in a yarn store. So even if you're not a farmer and you're not the primary fiber producer, you're a secondary fiber producer, then there will still be information for you as well. So it should be a really good call.
Yeah, sounds great, Hannah.
And this just goes out, just as a reminder, it just goes out to our mill partners list. So this is a special newsletter list that we reserved for the folks who mill with us so that they can get kind of business information and talk about issues exclusive to them and their needs. If you want to be on that list, it's a farm list. Just send it to me on hannah.battenkillfibers@gmail.com, or you can email Mary Jeanne, or you can send a contact us, and we'll get you on the list.
But
So
it's invitation only for mill customers only, and it's on Zoom, and that way the customers can interact. The last two, we had about 40 on each call. And interestingly, we spent a lot of time on each with the customers talking to each other, which was really fun. I enjoyed that as much as anything, hearing the customers talk, and from all over, you know, customers from Montana and Idaho talking with people from across the street.
That's wonderful. Hannah, can you read the comments?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm having trouble typing.
That's okay.
So I have to type like this, which is why I make so many typos.
You got it.
Yeah, Lily, you mentioned earlier that it's cold where you are. I got home and it's 95 degrees.
Oh, wow. Well, we got a couple of warm days in, but suddenly it's rainy and chilly again, and I was just freezing here in my studio and wrapped this around myself. I think that workshop sounds like such a great idea, because the more that we can put local fibers, local artisans front and center in a yarn shop where people are used to only seeing national brands, the more people will begin to understand just how very rich their local region is. You know, there are so many sheep producers around, so many good dyers around that just don't get enough face time with the knitting public.
It helps us all survive. And that's really the goal of the mill and the work that we do. It helps us all survive. And with the workshops, with all the workshops, the ultimate goal is for the consumer to not only be more informed, but also be more willing to help the people in their community and communities that they understand and know and are familiar with. And the local yarn store is the key in that equation. You know, they're the liaison for the industry to the customer that isn't digital. It's visceral, it's tactile. And we don't have that in like Instagram. You know, I can show you yarn on the screen, but you can't touch it.
Right.
And so having yarn in the yarn stores, it's going to be a process for these farm and these smaller breed yarns and micro milled yarns and mid-level milled yarns like ours, because our yarns are more expensive, but they come with so much more attached to them. And that really is the part that it's our job to communicate as an industry.
Yeah.
And we had to try to remember to reach out to Anne at Fiber Arts in the Glen.
Okay.
As you all know, I used to own the earlier version of that shop when it was Finger Lakes Fibers. And the group of my employees, including Anne, bought it and changed the name to Fiber Arts in the Glen. So it's in Watkins Glen, New York. And they have just entered into an agreement with our customer, Judy Genova, who has a nice flock of tunas, which are a heritage breed of sheep. Yeah. And we just saw her tunas come through and pin drafted. Yeah. So we're getting ready to spin that, and Anne wants to connect with us on color selection.
Great. That would be amazing.
Knows what her customers want.
Sure.
So this is a proactive, instead of a farmer making the yarn, presenting it, it's the farmer interacting with the shop owner and saying, here's what a tunis is like. This is what it'll do. Now that you see what it'll do, what colors do you think your customers want? And so we may as well dye what they want instead of guessing.
Right. Yeah. Or what weight do your customers purchase most frequently? What textures do they enjoy? These are all conversations. So that's awesome that they're doing that. It also removes some of the back and forth about texture. Like if you bring in a yarn that's too heavy and the yarn shop only sells lightweight, you'd want to know that. So definitely opening those conversations is huge. And if you're a yarn store owner and you're watching, I know I saw a few in the comments. We definitely have a few in here with us. Like, join us, because we'd love to hear your opinion too, your experiences, the things that you're hoping to find. Maybe you'll find your next fiber partner, your next feature yarn in that chat.
And we also have partnered with the Woolly Thistle to carry our Romney Merino oysters and pearls. You know, talk about what does the customer want. Well, the Woolly Thistle knows what thousands of customers want, and they've been giving us really good ideas for the next line of colors.
Great.
For the Romney Merino.
Good.
So we're completely sold out of the Romney Merino right now. We sent the first 2 colors to Botanical, to Green Matters.
Yes.
Yesterday. So pretty soon.
The ones for fall are Rhinebeck colors.
Yes, we started in Rhinebeck colors. Yes.
I might have a hint at some of these colors behind me. Mary Jeanne, don't you think?
Yes. Yes, those are right. The colors she's wearing and on her wall are the new. Is that how you found those colors? You started throwing paint?
Sometimes I just gravitate to kind of the same things. I have definitely favorites. And if someone, like Corinne at the Woolly Thistle, she kind of gave us an idea of the sorts of colors she would like to see. And 2 of them were so close to colors that I already love. So I was like, yes, we will do those.
There's a question about where are we going to be on June 11th and 12th?
At the Central New York Fiber Festival. It's in Battenkill, New York, at the Butternut Hill Campground. We do not have a booth, so you need an appointment to meet up with me, because I'm gonna be on rolling that weekend, because I got to get home unloaded in time to fly out on the 13th. And then Carol and I are going to H&H in Chicago.
Right. I don't even know when anymore.
It's the next week.
Okay.
It's like the 24th of June. We're going to Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So any of you yarn store friends who are listening, the H&H is sort of like the old TNNA plus the international H&H used to only be in Germany. So all those big mills are coming to Chicago. And it's at the convention center right at the airport. We're not going to get much sightseeing, Carol.
I know. It's or sleep.
Yeah. Minor detail. You can sleep on the plane.
Right.
You have a good time taking the train all around O'Hare. You could just pretend you're sightseeing around O'Hare.
I've not told her yet that I've only flown once
this year.
Ever.
Oh, Carol, you'll love O'Hare Airport.
Oh, you love O'Hare. O'Hare has
about 25 minutes to get from one end to the other.
There's four different terminals at O'Hare, and you get to take a train from one to another.
A train.
Oh my gosh! Shouldn't we have started with like Philadelphia? No, we're going to it's LAX.
I can move.
Chicago.
I can walk fast.
I can't. Oh my gosh! What was I thinking? We'll be fine, Carol. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
This group, I'll tell you now, anyone who's watching who had any question about hanging out with this group, this was a wild, fun Maryland experience. Even though it was rainy, even though the weather was a little bit against us and it was chilly and cold, we had a great time. We had a great time.
Even on the way home, I'm remembering stopping at the Corriedale Farmers and just looking at the gorgeous fleeces and wondering how much Hannah and I were both terrified, though, that MJ was going to insist that we drive the rest of the way home with fleeces on our laps because she was stuffing as many as she could into the van. We were just afraid that we wouldn't need airbags. We were just going to have fleeces between us and the dashboard.
Did you see it?
It's
Corriedale. We're going to make the Oysters and Pearls Corriedale alpaca.
Right? Yeah, the origin story is in our feed. I made a reel about it. So you should definitely watch it because it kind of sitting this. Mary Jeanne took some time to show me how to recognize elements in a fleece that are good and that are bad. So I would love to sit her down and show you guys all about that sometime.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah. It was a fun Corriedale farm visit.
Yeah.
And we away from 500 pounds. I got to figure out how I'm getting it somewhere. I think get a truck.
We got a van. We got a van.
Nobody try to get it. We're getting it. Nobody watching. Don't you try to get it. We're getting it.
It's top secret where this farm is.
It's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, just
go to Pennsylvania and you'll find it.
I think it was on the western side of Pennsylvania.
Well, truly, we were zigzagging all over the state on the way home.
Yeah, we did see a lot of central Pennsylvania. Beautiful country. Those stone barns, they were so...
Oh, my gosh. Those were to die for.
I was
what
ready
did
to move
he say?
in, cobwebs and all.
What did he say? It was part of the original William Penn grant in 1740. This land was originally...
Too much information.
Oh.
Every other farm was built with this style in 1740. It's amazing, this William Penn grant thing.
Haven't you guys heard loose lips sink sheeps?
Loose lips, loose fleece.
Okay, I think we've gotten punched, and we should just call it a night here. Should we do that, girls? Have we thanked Lilly for coming on the call with us?
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you again for coming to Maryland with us, Lilly.
So much fun. It was so much fun. I can't wait to Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, and again, thank you for braving the wild Northlands and the cold and the rain, and for being with us every night now. And friends, thank you all for calling in. I hope we'll connect at one of these upcoming dates. And if you forgot any of them, just send us an email or IM message, and we'll find you and get connected.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.